And joining us from Oklahoma to tell her story about cannabis is Dana Dobbinspec. Dana, good of you to do this. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Dana, I've referenced some of the health issues you were dealing with. Let's start with the pain you were experiencing. Tell us about that.
I had a lot of pain in my hands and arms from my occupation in cosmetology, and I've just always worked very hard with my body, but it had gotten to a point where it was waking me up at night. I was sleeping very little, and during the day it was difficult for me to hold things in my hands. It was very frustrating to someone who works so constantly with their hands.
Were you on any medication?
No, I wasn't. I'm not a big proponent of pharmaceuticals, just for myself. Mm-hmm. I certainly appreciate that they're out there and that we have so many choices. But I do try and stay with more natural. And I found that was very successful, although I realized that I was getting to a point where I was going to have to contact my doctor about doing something with my hands if I couldn't find a solution for myself. I've always been very involved with massage, and so I was working a lot with self-massage on my hands and arms.
Did you have arthritis, do you think?
I think that at this point in time, it's safe to say that I have arthritis in my hands and my knuckles and so forth. And so I'm constantly working with that, and I make a pain cream now with the RSO, and that really helps to take the inflammation down.
And you were also experiencing sleep issues.
Oh, yes. These little darlings would wake me up in the middle of the night constantly. And I did find that if I got into a hot tub, I could get some relief. So I spent a lot of time sleeping in the bathtub.
Shriveling up to a prune.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness I love the water. And so it was a good place for me to be. But yes, it would wake me up sometimes a little cold as the water would chill. Or my husband would come in to check on me to make sure I was okay. But it was nothing for me to spend 2 and 3 hours in the tub so that I could get some sleep.
What kind of other health issues did you have besides that?
A lot of swelling, suffering in my back, and I've had kidney issues constantly since I was a kid. I was real prone towards kidney infections. My other numbers were showing really high. My blood pressure was extremely low. My thyroid was very, very low, and my cholesterols were not great. So, and they said that I was that I had, really high inflammation numbers. So when I started learning about Rick Simpson, and I do a cooking show, my partner and I wanted to be able to talk to people about cannabis and not feel so awkward about it when we were talking to our doctor. And so we decided to have a show that, could open up these conversations. And in doing so, found the benefit for ourselves and talking with my doctor openly about it. And it's helped her too, because the two of us have been able to navigate a conversation or a language that, even though we've always been very comfortable with each other, this was sharing something very personal, it felt like, with cannabis. And especially since there is so much still not used to it, concern about how everybody's going to feel about someone that would ask to be on medical cannabis.
Isn't it interesting, Dana? You can talk openly about fentanyl or any other drug, any other opioid, but and people are receptive to it. But you talk about cannabis, and all of a sudden, people want to plug their ears, don't they?